You probably own pieces of hundreds of companies right now, and you have almost certainly never looked at a single one. If you have a workplace retirement account, this is almost definitely you. Somebody made that choice for you and you never questioned it. What you own is called a mutual fund, and it is worth understanding because the details of it quietly decide how much money you keep. So here is what a mutual fund actually is in plain terms. Thousands of strangers each throw money into one enormous pile. The manager takes that pile and spends it on hundreds of investments. You never pick any of them. That is the entire point. Buy one share of the fund and you own a sliver of everything inside. One purchase, hundreds of companies all at once. So how is that different from just buying a stock? A stock is one bet, a fund is a basket. That is the whole difference. And that difference only matters when something goes badly wrong. Own one stock and that company goes bankrupt. You lose everything. Not most of it, not some of it, all of it gone. Now own a fund holding 500 companies instead. One of them collapses and you genuinely barely notice. That protection has the name. It is called diversification. And it was invented by someone who watched a disaster unfold. Amsterdam, 1772. The Dutch banking system is about to break. Banks across the country had made one enormous concentrated bet. They had piled almost everything into British East India Company stock. That summer, the stock crashed, and the whole structure buckled. Ordinary small investors were wiped out completely, not because they picked badly. Their choices were perfectly reasonable. They were ruined because everything they had rode on one thing. 2 years later, one Amsterdam broker decided to fix that. His name was Ketwich, and his idea was almost embarrassingly simple. Do not put everyone's money into one thing, spread it everywhere. He named the fund Eendragt Maakt Magt. In English, that translates to Unity Creates Strength. He sold 2,000 units of it to the ordinary Dutch public. Inside it sat bonds from different governments, colonies, and sectors, deliberately scattered so no single failure could sink the whole thing. So the foundation of modern investing was invented as a reaction, not a clever theory, a response to watching people lose everything. 2.5 centuries later, that same idea is in your pocket. But modern funds have a quirk that catches almost everyone out. A stock price changes every single second the market is open. You always know exactly what you are paying right now. A mutual fund does not work like that at all. Its price updates exactly once per day after the market closes. The fund adds up everything it owns, then divides by its shares. So buy one at 10 in the morning and you are buying blind. You will not learn what you actually paid until that evening. There is a second structural difference nobody explains either. Buy a stock and you are buying it from another investor. Buy a mutual fund and you buy directly from the fund company. They simply create a brand new share and hand it to you. Now for the part that quietly costs people real money. Every mutual fund charges an annual fee just for existing. It is called the expense ratio, taken as a percentage of your balance. Here's the part that stings. It comes out in losing years too. The fund had a terrible year. The fee arrives anyway. 1% a year sounds like absolutely nothing. Now run that same 1% for 40 straight years. Each year it takes a slice of a bigger and bigger number. By the end, that quiet fee has taken an enormous share of your money. So why do some funds charge far more than others? Because funds split into two very different camps. Active funds pay a manager to pick investments and beat the market. That expertise costs money and you pay for it every year. Passive funds just buy everything on a list and charge almost nothing. Nobody is making decisions, so there is nobody expensive to pay. Which raises the obvious question, is the expensive one worth it? In 2007, one man decided to settle that publicly with money. Warren Buffett bet a full $1 million on the cheap option. His claim was that a simple low-cost index fund would win. It would beat a hand-picked selection of elite hedge funds. Worth saying plainly, hedge funds are not the same as mutual funds. But the question underneath was identical. Does paying more win? Ted Seides of Protégé Partners took the other side of the bet. Then they both waited 10 full years for the answer. Buffett won, and he did not win narrowly. He won decisively. The proceeds went to a charity called Girls Inc. of Omaha. That does not mean expensive funds always lose. Sometimes they win. It means the fee is a real cost, and it has to earn its keep. So step back and look at what you are actually holding. A mutual fund is a 250-year-old answer to a very old problem. The problem being that one person cannot safely own just one thing. It lets one ordinary person own a slice of an entire economy. And the fee is simply the price of that admission ticket. The only question worth asking is whether that ticket is priced fairly. So go and check the expense ratio on your own retirement account. Most people have genuinely never once looked at that number. It takes about 2 minutes, and it is worth knowing. Because a number that small should not quietly cost you that much. So go check the fee on your fund and tell me what it is below, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.